if you look at this Kaizer Chiefs side this season, we have about 311 shots at goal. I mean, that's the highest in the entire DSTV Premiership. That means there's something that we are doing right in terms of getting to the opposition box. But the problem is conversion, because in the last 13 games we only scored 13 goals, and this gives them a Khosi a conversion rate of 4.2%, while teams like Mamelodi Sundowns operate at double that efficiency. And also, if you look at the scoring chart, you find names in the top 5. You'll only find names from Mamelodi Sundowns, Orlando Pirates, and Sekhukhune. You barely see Chiefs players at the top of that table, season in, season out. But in order to understand this, there are a few factors that come into play that we need to look at. One is CAF continental fatigue. One thing that we need to ask ourselves, do we have enough depth in this Kaizer Chiefs side? I mean, in each and every department. I know that Bobby Mutaung is now saying that we have enough players. They're not going to sign any player in this January transfer window, but are all the departments bolstered? Do we have enough depth? Because remember that there are times that we will be hit by injuries and also fatigue, because when you are playing continental football you need squad rotation, because midweek fixtures and continental fatigue, they will obviously lead to heavy legs. And if you look at us last season, Roshwin Dotley was injured, Given him Simango was injured, and there was a time also when this young boy was also injured, Eden McCaffey. And while we have players like Inacio Miguel, who's prone to yellow cards. Because one thing about him, he's always playing a high line, and while he doesn't have pace, so every time they outpace him, he pulls other players and make unnecessary fouls. So we struggled in the back line. I think in terms of depth, if Kwiniga got an injury, I think it was game over for us. And there were times some even wanted a Bradley Cross to be converted into a left centre back, because there was lack of depth in that department, while we are also playing CAF. So that means if the players are hit by fatigue, we are forced to even play them when they are not even on form. And also even on the right wing department, our only natural right winger is Lodi Lilep. Mfundo Vilakazi, I think, can do well as a number 10. If you watched him on the Club World Cup, you know what I'm talking about. So do we have depth in every department? And again, Flavio Silva, before he joined Kaizer Chiefs, his numbers were very good, but also, are we creating in the midfield? Do we have a good number 10? Because now, yes, I agree, Gaston Sereno is a good number 10, and I've seen that Duduzi Shabalala has been moved to the left wing now. So Gaston Sereno got an injury, but who was creating in the middle? Because sometimes you might find that Duduzi is not giving us anything, is not on form. But do we have enough depth also in that number 10 position? I mean, the number 10 is the most important position, especially considering the fact that now we have about 7 strikers, and these are very good strikers. Numbers don't lie. We know them from the past. These are very, very good strikers, but who's feeding them? Who's giving them those through balls? You understand? So I think we are lacking in terms of depth. That's number 1. And then number 2, my other biggest worry is these co-coaches, because if you look at this Kaizer Chiefs side, we were coached by Nasreddin Nabi, and this is a coach who's renowned for his tactical flexibility. That's why he was attending each and every match, because he's always changing his game plan depending on the opponent. This is a coach who was always changing his game plan depending on the opponent. So this leads to us changing our starting 11 all the time, because we don't have a clear tactical philosophy. Like, we don't have a style of play that we stick to, that we can identify. That even was it Eric Tinkler or Mangoba Mngcithi once said in an interview that it's very difficult to play against Chiefs because you will never know how they will approach the game. And you might take this as a compliment, but this means that we don't have a style of play, and this makes it very hard to sign players if we don't have a clear tactical philosophy. How are you gonna sign the right players? How are you gonna know if these players are the right players for the team if we don't know how the team is playing? Because in football, it's all about signing the right players, not the best players, but the right players for the system. If you look at Mamelodi Sundowns, for example, Mamelodi Sundowns is a position-based football, and they typically employ a 4-2-3-1 formation. But since they're position-based football that likes building from the back, circulating the ball from the back a lot, they knew that because the reason why they're doing that, they are enticing you to press them, right? So that you can vacate spaces for them to exploit. They want you to press them. But in order to evade that press, they knew that when they sign players, they need ball-playing center-backs, because that requires a ball-playing center-backs and also a ball-playing goalkeeper. So that's why they signed the likes of Ashley Cupido, because it's very comfortable at the ball. He is good at playing under pressure in tight spaces. So you can tell that, okay, when they sign players, before they signed those players, they looked at the system. So now, if you look at this Kaizer Chiefs side, and also the way that we are signing players, these players that we have signed now, these are the players that the management wanted even before these core coaches. And sometimes it makes you wonder if these core coaches have a say in terms of who to bring to the club. And I think this might be the reason why even Nasreddin Nabi left the club, because these players it can't be the players that Nasreddin Nabi wanted, the likes of Kanyisomayo. We know Kaizer Chiefs wanted him before he went to whatever team that he was playing for in Africa. And also Velebai, we know that it's a player that they've always wanted. So it seems like there's no there's no between the management, and there's no working relationship. There's no good working relationship between the management and our coaches, because if you look at the way big teams operate, like the management drives the strategy, and they go and get him players that fit his game model. The management, the coach is the one that drives the strategy, and then the management get the players that fit his style of play, his game model. So if you look at this Kaizer Chiefs side, I think that's the problem again, that whenever we sign players, they are not even played instantly. Because look at Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates, even Liverpool and Manchester City, they just signed Semenyo now. They sign a player this week and next week is playing. But because now our management is signing players that these core coaches don't even know, and they will say that player is not ready, right? And we've also been complaining about Lebogang Maboe, because the entire country know that Lebogang Maboe is quality, right? There's no way that you can put Lebogang Maboe on the bench, and we know that if Chiefs was coached by Beats or South African, they would have played Lebogang Maboe immediately as soon as he got to the club. But now, because these co-coaches don't understand the players, and so I don't think there's a working relationship between the management and also in terms of signing players. So that's another crisis that I see in this Kaizer Chiefs side. And but anyway, guys, to cut this video short, leave your opinions in the comment section about this, and tell me if you think Kaizer Chiefs can win the league this season. But in my opinion, I think it's a no-no, but I would love to hear what you guys think. Leave your opinions in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.